Welcome to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Welcome to episode 48. Chris is here with me today, and he's going to tell us about the whiskey of the week.
Whiskey/bourbon of the week is High West Bourbon. So on the back of here, it says, meet the America's West's most innovative and inviting bourbon, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, aged to a minimum of 2 years in charred white oak barrels, never been chilled, never been carbon treated So I don't know about that. It's a high variety of different ryes, they say, content, and mash bills, conveying an earthy complexity tone. So the perfect merit of richness and brightness expressed by notes of honey, sweet cornbread biscuits, lemon zest, caramel apples, and pecan pie lingering on the finish. It says, whether sipped or stirred, this bourbon's blended to be tried and true.
I like pecan pie, so I really hope
like cornbread too.
I really hope that comes out. So, Utah.
Yeah.
Park City, Utah.
Let's see what they know.
I know.
It says it's 46% alcohol. I don't know why they didn't put the proof, which we ended up researching, and it's 90 proof, so
There you go.
we'll see.
I only got this bottle. I haven't seen this before, but the liquor store I go to had a display of it out up front, and it was on sale. So I'm like, well, that one hasn't been on my radar, but it's on sale. And I haven't seen it before, so let's try it. Definitely a very, for the High West, it's definitely a very tall bottle.
Yeah.
And does not fit at the
It
bottom of
reminds
that
me of
globe.
like the old school Western movies where they just,
All right.
let's try it.
Definitely has a sweet, caramelly smell to it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely get the caramel up front.
On the back end, I don't really taste pecan pie.
I don't either.
I taste caramel.
Yep. I'm not even getting apple either. Like I said, it's mostly just, caramel.
Well, let's put it on ice and see what that gives us.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute since I've had pecan pie, but I'm not getting that.
No, I'm not either. I'm not even getting cornbread like they said.
Just literally
Caramel. Caramel, and then you get that spice from the rye on the back end.
Yeah, I told Chris he's got a choice between this or rare breed. Single barrel. He chose this. So there you go.
Gotta save the single barrel for when we do our 50th.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna throw this on some ice.
See what happens. The bottle's definitely unique.
Yeah, I like it.
It's got like the dimpling inside the glass too, so
I know at first when I was looking at it, I'm like, is that dust all over this bottle?
That's what I thought at first too, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, definitely kind of cool, unique bottle there. You can probably move it. I think it's in your face. It sits
It's in
up
my
so high.
face. There we go. Is that better? Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. So what do you got this week, Chris? Anything?
I got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. This week's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we're doing this on a Monday instead of a Wednesday just because Chris has a lot of parental stuff going on.
Parental, school, just everything's all this week.
Of course.
Figures.
Right. We're coming up on, believe it or not, we're coming up on holidays.
I know.
And that's crazy to think.
Yeah, but it's nice outside, which I can do with that.
Yep. But by the time this episode comes out, it's going to be cold.
As long as it doesn't snow. And we did get snow this last weekend. Ugh.
Hunter took a picture of it when he was up with the baby. It's like 7:30 in the morning. And yeah, there was definitely snow on the ground. By the time I got up and saw it, there was none.
Yeah, it was snowing because I had to go take the truck in to get its oil change. And I was like, is that what I think it is? I was like, God.
That white stuff.
Yep.
I need to put down my winterizer this week. Yep, it's crazy. The ice gets rid of that burn on the back end.
Every time.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more of a sweetness on the end than I initially was, because I was just getting that burn, but now that that's gone, getting some more sweet.
Yeah, it's very sweet on the back end.
So if you like a sweeter whiskey, this might be for you.
Yep.
Check it out. Well, so I guess our main topic this week, we'll jump into that real quick. Or no, we can't.
Yeah, do the
can't
gun
do
of the
that.
week before we do that.
Gun of the week.
It's Monday.
It's Monday. I'm off. We had to do the intro 3 different times because I kept messing stuff up. So, gun of the week. I'm going to pull this out right here. This is, let me switch cameras here. I don't know if anyone makes it better, but this is the Springfield Armory Garrison 1911 pistol. It is so hard to find any 1911 right now. And I've had the 45 version of these not too long ago, maybe about 6 months ago or so. I have a video showing how to take one of these apart. But I've been wanting to get some more 1911s in, and when I saw these pop up on my supplier, I just saw Garrison 1911, and I'm like, buy. So luckily I only bought one, and then when I got it, and I was doing the paperwork, logging it in, I realized it was the 9mm version. I'm like, oh, crap. Because I'm like, if you're going to have a 1911, you got to have a 45. However, this is for sale, so if you want it in a 9mm version, here you go. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be cheaper to shoot.
Yeah.
And a little bit less recoil and stuff to deal with. But so the main difference between, so Springfield makes a ton of different 1911s, a ton, and they're all like, I love them.
Yeah.
The TRP operator, I wish I would have never sold that one. I just love these. And the cool thing about the Garrison is they keep introducing budget-friendly options, but with some modern features. So that's what this kind of the Garrison model is all about, is having that classic mil-spec look, but with some modern features and kind of keeping them lower budget. I mean, these are definitely under $1,000. I think they're, depending on where you find them, around $8.
I've seen them cheaper.
Yeah.
I think like $550, $600. I think I've seen a couple of Garrisons.
Yeah.
And that was for the 45. So
just depends on where you see them. I can't remember.
It's hard to find them. That's the hardest part.
I know, but they are cool. So looks like kind of, I mean, especially with this blued finish, looks like your classic mil spec. It also comes in the stainless steel option. So I like those, but then you see your fingerprints all over the stainless steel. So I prefer the blued, but they have those two different options. And so you're getting the classic military look, the mil spec look. But what this one has is it has on the trigger, kind of has these holes drilled out, and has an extended beaver tail, and then this skeletonized hammer back here. So it helps with that. And then instead of having those mil spec sights, if you've ever shot a 1911 with mil spec sights, some of them have dots on them. Some of them are just blacked out sights, and they're terrible. But these have a 3-dot low profile sight, so you can definitely get this good sight picture on these. And you can actually, I think, swap out these sights.
I bet you can. They look like they're.
Yeah. So, and then it's got these, I mean, this being a 9mm, it's a little bit thinner than the 45 version, but it's got these nice grips on it and everything. So, and just like most 1911s, single stack magazine. So, yeah, I know they have some double stack magazines out there. So I wonder if Joe Biden would allow us to have these 1911s.
They got 10 rounds or more.
I think these are 8. 9mm version. How many does a 9mm version hold? 9 rounds.
Ooh, so you're right under. So
he was wanting 8, remember?
Yeah.
But 1808 was 10, so this would still be legal.
Yep.
So, yeah. I don't know. I like these. I'd prefer 45. But this will be cheaper to shoot because ammo on 9mm is much cheaper.
Oh, yeah.
And easier to find than 45.
Yeah.
So definitely like that gun.
Yeah. I still want a 1911.
It drives me nuts. Like looking on Springfield's website, they have so many like different versions of 1911s, and they're all out of stock.
Yeah.
At least through all of my suppliers, I haven't been able to find any. Might be able to find some other places, but
It's hard to find them.
yes.
But
And if you do find them, you usually have the expensive ones.
Yeah. That's how they get you. Mm-hmm. Well, we got it, but you got to pay the extra.
But if you have one of these and want to learn how to take it apart, I have a video on how to field strip it.
Yes, you do.
It's a little bit different than your standard pistol, like a Glock pistol. You actually take the barrel out from the front.
Yeah. I think I remember seeing that. I was like, whoa, that's totally different.
Yeah,
From most of our modern guns that we
Yeah,
have.
so there's I'm forgetting the term, bushing. I think it's the bushing right here. So this actually holds the barrel and the guide rod in. So you essentially just untwist this and that comes out. Then you can slide off. Then the slide comes off and then the barrel slides out the front too.
So it pretty much locks it from the front.
Yeah. It's a
Instead
little
of
different.
having pins.
Yeah. So it's a little different, but once you get the hang of it, doing it once or twice,
Easy.
pretty easy, especially once you get that newer gun broken into.
Yeah.
So that is the gun of the week.
Such a beautiful gun.
They are. Like I said, I like as awesome as the stainless steels look.
Yeah.
They just look good too. I like the blued, or the where it's bitone.
Yeah.
They kind of
The bitones are, ooh.
they combine the two. But my favorite so far of Springfield's TRP operator.
Yep. You should never sell that gun.
Yeah, I'll get one someday.
You're going to have to probably get two when you do.
Yep, but those are definitely over $1,000, whereas
Yeah.
these are much more budget friendly.
I wonder
But
what the major difference between that and the operator would be.
so with 1911s, they're all about fitment, and like all the parts and everything for a 1911 is made for that gun most of the time. So the tighter the tolerances, the better. And it's just it's like freaking ARs or whatever. You can spend, buy a Rock Island Armory for a few $100s, or you can buy a Wilson Combat for like 5,000.
Yeah.
So it all just depends on the fit, finish, and the type of parts. I mean, especially with the triggers, the different types of barrels, the beaver tails. I mean, they make all sorts of different. It all just depends on what you want.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's 1911.
Yeah, it is. It's America's gun.
I had a buddy I used to work with that was big into collecting guns, and he, liked the pricier guns. He bought a couple. I think he bought a Wilson Combat, and he also had some Dan Wesson 1911s that were like 4,500 plus, and he was scared to shoot them. I'm like, at that point, why have the gun?
Yeah.
Like you have almost $5,000 in this gun you're not going to shoot.
I think I'm going to be buying some after I win the lottery tonight.
Right? Well, buy me one.
Yeah, I'll buy a couple. Get them specially engraved.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. You can join that club that the collector has, where you get one every month.
That'd be dope.
That'd be sweet. It's a lot of money, though.
Yeah, but if you got $1 billion, 1.9.
You wouldn't have, well, what's it up to? 1.9. So
You're going to be right underneath $1 billion probably after taxes and everything.
if you're the sole winner,
Yeah, if you're the sole winner.
hey, I'd be fine.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. Give me the lump sum.
Yep.
Peace out, day job. I'm going to travel the world.
Travel the world, buy a bunch of land, shoot whenever I want,
I'd
buy what I want when I want.
I'd buy a new motorcycle, too. We just bought one. Yeah, but
I'll trade this one in and get the other one.
if I won it, I would keep that one.
Yeah.
And
so
then
that Marie can have one to ride with you.
I don't know. Just because that's the last year of those Sportsters.
Yeah.
So I would obviously keep that one for that reason, because it's not going to be worth any money anytime soon, but who knows, down the road.
Yeah. Keep those assets. Mm-hmm. Never know.
I don't know why. I'm watching videos on like other Harleys that are out there. Man, I really like
You're getting bit by the bug.
the Lowrider ST. Really like that one. It's still a soft tail, but has bags on it and a good fairing. So it's not your full like Street Glide, Road King on your touring frame. This is still a soft tail frame, but it's kind of your entry into the baggers, and still a Softail. I don't know. On the wish list.
Yep.
Got more power because I took the bike out on Saturday for like an hour.
Yeah.
And I mean, it gets up and goes, but there's times where it's like, man, I just want to get up to speed faster.
And so it begins.
I don't want to go like 100 miles an hour. I just want to get up to speed faster.
And it begins. Stage 1 kit on the way. Look for the video.
Shit. Yeah, right. Man, the stage 1 kit, I mean, it gives it a little bit of power. I don't know. I mean, you're not really going to really notice the difference until you get into the upper stages, which cost more money. I think when we did that episode, it was stage 1 and stage 4, which were the most expensive, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I bet stage 3 gets quite pricey too, because now you're actually having to use a machine shop to bore, and might have to get pistons and piston rings and
I guess the parts
Yeah.
aren't the most expensive, but then you had
machine work and all
labor.
that and labor. That's where most of everything is, really.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy everything pretty decent. It's just getting it installed and machining and finding a machine shop that can do it and how much they want to charge. Because if they're the only machine shop that does it, guess what? They're going to up their prices.
So, been looking at any more?
A little bit.
Yeah. Are you still stuck on the BMW bikes?
Yeah, I've been looking at those. Couple Ducatis and Triumphs.
Have you noticed any prices coming down with winter coming in or anything?
I'm starting to see a little bit.
Are you looking on like at actual dealers, or are you just looking on
private
Facebook?
sale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because the first thing I'm going to do if I get a BMW, I'm probably going to tear it down to start building the cafe racer.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it runs and drives, that's all I would care about.
It's really recommended to have, like, pay a shop, like say $100 or whatever, to look it over.
Yeah.
Is that something you would do?
The other thing, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably just go there,
I guess
make
you
sure
being
it
a car guy,
runs,
you kind of know.
check
what to look at.
compressions on it. That'd be a biggest toll sign is you do a compression test on it. If you got good compression on all cylinders, you're usually good.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
Get on it.
we'll see.
As you've learned when you took out the scooter, it's fun to ride,
Yeah,
even just on the side streets.
yeah, it is.
Get a Bluetooth headset that way we can actually talk.
That, and I keep watching all these like helmets now. They keep popping up on my Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, stop.
Mm-hmm. Once you enter anything, like in a search or just
I
click
know.
on something, that's all that shows up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I swear my phone listens to me.
Oh yeah, it's like I'm thinking about something, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden that's all that's popping up.
It's like, man, AI is coming a long way.
It is. So, well, since I jumped ahead too fast, should we get into the main topic real quick?
Sure.
All right. So I'm an FFL dealer, so I do the background checks online. And anytime there's some major changes with the NICS check, I get an email with an update saying, hey, this is changing, whether it be whatever you're entering in the background check portion, or if they decide to change up the forms, which they recently did last year or two, kind of move some things around on it. So they notify us that. Well, I got notified of this changes, which I completely forgot about. This actually passed back in, what was it, June?
Yeah, I think June.
And it's this Bipartisan Safer Communities Act of 2022.
You know what BSCA reminds me of? Boy Scouts of America.
Yeah. But this one was actually brought into life in 2021 by Marco Rubio of Florida and was actually passed into law June 25th, 2022. So I think there were some people mentioning this, but not a whole lot. And I honestly may have heard of it, but
Forgot about it.
forgot about it until I got. So I got an email and it said, click on this for more information. And then this is the message that I got. So with the BSCA coming into law, basically what it's going to do is there's a lot of different things for like mental health and education, but there is a firearms portion of this. So they want to enhance background checks for people between the ages of 18 and 20. So for whatever reason, they think those people, that age group, are the ones that may not need the weapon that they're trying to purchase.
I don't know. I laugh about that a little bit just because you can go serve your country at 18.
Mm-hmm.
You can guess what they're going to give you.
Yeah, they're going to give you a full auto.
Yeah.
But
they're going to train you with it.
And we'll talk about this, how we feel about this later. But yeah, between 18 and 20. So I always get told this by people and they don't know what they're talking about. You have to be 21 to legally own a pistol. I get people coming up, oh, private sale, you don't have to be 21, all this. No, you have to be 21. And so 18 to 20, you can still buy a rifle or a shotgun.
Yeah.
You cannot legally buy a pistol until you're 21. No matter what anybody says, don't listen to somebody that's saying, oh, private sale, you can do a private sale. No, you have to be 21 to own a pistol. So moving on. But so basically, so this really affects if you're in that age range. Luckily, being a home-based FFL, I don't have a whole lot of customers within that age range. They're usually older. But so what this is going to do is it's basically the enhancement provides the opportunity for additional outreach and research to be conducted regarding the existence of any juvenile adjudication, information, and or mental health prohibition. As a result, transactions on persons between the ages of 18 to 20 will initially be delayed and the address of the individual will be collected so that the appropriate local and state entities may be contacted. So this is the main change here. So when you normally fill out the application, it asks for your address and everything like that on it. When I do the background check through the NICS system, I don't put your address or anything. I put your state you were born and the state you reside in, and that's it. Your name, social security number, driver's license, weight, height, stuff like that. But I do not put your address in the NICS background check. They want to make it to where I have to enter the address in that background check for people 18 to 20. And normally, if you pass that background check, most states allow you to take possession of that gun that day. The not so friendly gun states have that cool down period.
Yeah.
But federally, you can take it home that day. This is going to put an automatic delay on it. So normal delays are 3 to 5 business days. This one is actually going to extend it. And the purpose of that extension is so they can research to see if you have any juvenile records. Because I guess there's a lot of things that you see in the news about these school shooters. There was something that popped up on their juvenile record that didn't show up in like a background check.
See, that's kind of, I don't know, weird to me. Like if you're doing a background check on someone, I would think it'd be more thorough. And it actually, oh yeah, this person does have this according, because if it brings up your name, if you're putting your name and social in it, I'm pretty sure if you got a juvenile record, your name and social security is brought up on it, court and all that.
Apparently not.
Well, then they need to redo their background checks. Is the way I look at it.
A lot of the questions on the form have to do with federal crimes.
Yeah.
So little misdemeanors.
So why
and
don't
stuff.
they put in your local crimes then?
This is probably the start of that.
Yeah.
So they're going to start with the juveniles, the little kids, and then I'm sure we'll see something because it's.
I think it's kind of it's just like if you're giving someone your driver's license, it's gonna have your address on it.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't they just flag the 18 to 20-year-old's driver's license automatically? Because your driver's license is gonna have your age, home address, and everything. It should flag it right then and there. Why do you have to go in and physically put it?
Because what I send to the FBI, whoever's on the back end of this NICS check, normally, well, I guess, yeah, I get what you're saying because I put the driver's license number in there.
Yeah, that
should automatically pull up the address,
age, phone, everything.
It should. it's a government. Their systems always suck. So I don't know what they see on that end. But now, instead of not having to put an address in, I have to do that. And they could contact, the local
entities, whoever the heck they are.
Yeah. So you're going to be delayed so that they may be contacted. This is actually going to start November 14th. So
right around the corner next week.
Coming up pretty quick. This is why they sent that out. Checks on persons under the age of 21 could be extended for a period of up to 10 business days. So for that normal
cool down
3 to 5 business day, if you get delayed. So if a lot of times people get delayed for whatever reason,
common names usually.
Yeah. And if you really haven't been through the background system before, you get delayed too. Normally they keep changing it, but it's basically up to 5 business days. This is going to be 10. So it is possible for an FFL to be contacted with an updated Brady transfer date as a temporary measure, and until the NICS can be updated to provide this information electronically, NICS staff will be calling FFLs to advise of any change in the transfer date. What they say is, once I do a background check and say it comes back as proceed, supposedly they clear their system within 24 hours and all that information goes away. Obviously, if it's delayed or if you get denied, they keep record of that NICS check. But supposedly, and I've asked an ATF agent and he says, yes, it comes back as proceed. All the information on that kind of gets deleted out of our system or purged out. So all descriptive information, including address, will follow normal purge requirements. Example, deleted from NICS within 24 hours of the FFL receiving a proceed status. But yeah, that's one thing where people are like, oh, they keep a record of stuff.
Well,
if you get...
They say they delete it.
Yeah.
Who's actually going back and checking then that they are deleting it from the system?
I don't know.
I mean, AI is everywhere. I bet AI is keeping it, or cloud-based.
If you because I know for sure they keep track of all denieds. Because when I had my inspection, even ones years ago, they had, hey, this guy got denied on this form, this date. Here's the NICS background check number. And I have to keep that application in a separate folder. So they keep that. But supposedly if your background check comes back as proceed, they purge it within 24 hours and that goes away. I've been told by a field agent that happens, but it's the government.
Yeah.
There's got to be something somewhere where it's
being stored, yeah, cloud based or something.
But on the flip side, what is the advantage of them keeping that on there? If you're proceed and then that form, my paper form, goes into storage for the next 20 years, what's the benefit of them keeping that? Because again, it does not have. The only way
they keep it is they want to start banning stuff, and they then have record of you buying.
They have record of you buying it, but I don't put exactly what you buy.
Yeah.
I just put whether it's a handgun,
rifle,
gun,
or
a receiver.
Okay.
That's it. I don't put the serial number, model, make, nothing, just whatever it is. And for the most part, if you buy 10 shotguns, I don't put a number. I just put, shotgun. So they don't know exactly what you're buying. They know you purchased something, or did a transfer. They don't know what exactly or how many. Now, pistols are different. If you buy more than 2 pistols from an FFL or have more than 2 purchased within 5 days from the same FFL, I have to fill out a separate form, a multiple handgun disposal form, and send that to the ATF and the local sheriff's department. And what that's supposed to do, and what else is built into this bipartisan thing, is they want to get rid of straw purchases and the boyfriend. What is it? What was that called? The boyfriend loophole, or
something
like that. But the straw purchases. So what that is, and this has been a big issue, and there's supposed to be something to help prevent a lot of this. But say you go and buy, like, you find a good deal on, like, say AR-15. So like Anderson ARs are on sale for like $300, and you buy 5 of them. And say your buddy over here for whatever reason, can't buy a gun. So he asked you to go buy one, and then you buy the 5 and sell him 1. That's technically a straw purchase because you bought it, and you did the background check, the application's under you, but then you give it to him, and he doesn't go through all that. That is a straw purchase. So they tried to alleviate that mainly with just the handguns, but so if you hear straw purchase, it's basically somebody purchasing a gun for somebody else.
Yeah.
Who may or may not be legal to own that.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on a person that's 18 to 20 automatically getting delayed for purchasing a rifle or pistol? Do you think?
I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. Like, I think it's kind of dumb because there are good 18-year-old, 20-year-old kids out there that are buying their first hunting rifle to go hunt for the season. And good for them, kudos, whatnot. But then you do have those, I don't know, mentally ill kids out there that want to cause harm. But if you know that some of them they'll find a way. If they can't get it right away, they'll find a way to get a gun somewhere and cause harm.
Right.
So I have a mixed feeling. And then I also believe, like, if you're 18 years old and you're allowed to serve your country, it should not matter. Because here's my other thing on that. You're 18, right? You're serving. You got to have your home address. Well, if you're military, because, yeah, you have your permanent address, but you're not living there. So are they going to flag your home address then? And then how do you...
Purchasing a gun is different when you're in the military because you have obviously your home address where you're from, but then you have your
MOS or... Yeah.
So I've actually, it's funny, I've had people that technically live in California, but their
permanent
address is here, so they can buy an AR.
Yeah.
And they can buy whatever they can't have in California. But so I get what you're saying, but say you want to hunt. 9 times out of 10, you're not buying that gun and going hunting that day or the next day.
Yeah.
So having the extra up to 10 days delayed, if you know this going into it,
he's going to be
plan ahead.
Or like, let's say, hey, I'm going to Texas for a hunt. Oh, crap, I forgot my gun. You go down there, like, oh, I'll just buy one. Now you can't do that. So, I don't know. That would kind of suck.
Don't forget your gun.
Yeah.
Borrow your buddies. I don't know. And then on the flip side, just to play devil's advocate here, military, like you've said in the past, yeah, they're issuing you an M16.
Yeah.
But you don't get that outside of your duty. Like, it's not something you can walk around with.
No.
You can't take it home. Like, that's strictly.
It's usually for your duty, and they're checking it in and out from the armory usually. And that number, that serial is attached to you pretty much.
Yes.
So
that's a lot. That's pretty strict. It's not like you can just take that and go shoot up a school.
Oh, it gets crazier than that. Like, they give you a lot, like your ammunition, it's got a lot number, and every one of those have got to match that lot. So when you go back to turn in your rifle or whatnot, your lot numbers better all be the same. If not, they're going to be asking questions like, why is this not the same? When you checked out, all these were the exact same. So it's pretty strict, but...
Yeah, and that's, obviously, you're doing that for basically your job. So that's... Yeah, you're 18 to 20 serving our country, get an M16, but it's highly restricted and controlled.
Yeah.
So, there's that flip side to it. Well, you're not just freely given the M16.
Yeah.
You're
most likely issued it and training with it.
And not to mention, you are trained how to use those before you're issued one.
Putting down
so
a lot of...
Whereas just any 18-year-old kid could go in and buy one without having any prior gun knowledge and get one legally that day.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that just because of that reason right there.
Yeah, there's two sides, I guess. So I guess you got to meet somewhere in the middle with the left side.
Yeah.
You know, they keep doing all that. It's like, all right, if we know this age group is a problem, we'll extend the background check, maybe do a little more digging in. That's fine as a compromise. However, as we've learned, you give them a little bit, and then they're just going to keep reaching for more
and more.
So I'd like to see the statistics after this has been in effect for a while.
Yeah, that, and also bring up the Second Amendment. I'm pretty sure a Second Amendment doesn't have an age limit, because you got to think back then they were fighting wars at 10, 11 years old.
Back then at 18, you were
an adult.
Yeah. Now the problem now is you have all these kids that are playing GTA.
Yeah.
And
that shouldn't be, because they're rated M for mature, and a lot of these parents don't give an F and get their 10-year-olds Call of Duty. Hey,
yeah,
they shouldn't even be playing this.
It's like, yeah, there was no age limit back then, but I get it because it was way different then. Like you were working at like, hell, you were getting married at like freaking 14.
Yep.
So, and you didn't have all this social media like bullying and all that. You didn't have these violent TV like movies.
Back then, you got in a fight,
games,
fist fight.
Yeah. So, I do think there should be an age limit because, you know, you're basically a kid. You don't want some 16-year-old being able to get an AR and
wreaking havoc.
There's a lot that can happen. So I get that. I know some people want to raise the age to 21. Mixed feelings on that.
I'd say no. Just because 18, you can ship me off to war with a gun.
Mm-hmm. You can, but again, you're restricted on access to that weapon.
Yeah, but in time of war, it's going to be a lot different. You'll most likely be sleeping with that gun in a time of war.
But in a time of war, it's not like that particular individual is going to go shoot up a mall or something.
Yeah.
Well, unless the enemy's in there. But,
yeah.
It's very complicated.
I don't understand why. It's all like the drinking age. Like, I think a lot of it comes down, like, people over in Europe, they're drinking at like 13, 14. So the drinking age is a lot lower. But they're also learning how to be responsible about it at those ages. Over here, parents aren't paying attention to their kids. They're not showing them how to be responsible. They're not showing them how to be responsible gun owners. They don't value life like they used to. So a lot of it falls on, sad to say, most of us adults and your congressman and Senate and all that. It comes down to everyone, and the leadership is the way I look at it.
I know this is obviously going to piss off probably more parents, because say, hey, I want to take my kid hunting. I want to take him out, get him his first rifle for his birthday or whatever. And then you got to wait 10 days.
Unless you buy it under yourself. But then straw law.
Yeah. That's,
I mean.
Whereas if say you buy that and then you let your kid use it while you're there, that's a different story. I guess technically if you're buying a firearm for somebody, you're not legally supposed to buy it. You do the paperwork, background check, and then you give it to them. At that point, they then have to fill out an application background check for that weapon. So a lot of people don't do it that way.
But here's the thing, like if you want your kid to learn how to be a proper gun owner, user, whatnot, most likely the parent's going to buy a gun, let their kid use it, show them how to use it properly and everything, and then they're going to store it for their kid.
Right.
So.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But who's to say later down the road, I forgot to transfer their first gun that I bought for them to learn on. Now they're going to have to go through that. God forbid you die before they're 18, especially with everything that's wanting to go on.
Most of the time, they're just going to take possession of that firearm. Yeah. But legally, they would have to find an FFL dealer to transfer it to them.
Yeah, and God forbid if you had handguns too that you wanted to give passed down. Hope to
Because
God.
right now you can do that. There's really nothing stopping you. There's been
talks,
bills and talk about trying to stop that. But really, how do you do that? Because unless you get stopped and the police somehow find out you have this weapon, then they do a check and that you're not the last person to have it, a background check done on it. There's really no way to easily monitor that.
Yeah.
Other than just trusting somebody. But realistically, I mean, I wouldn't do that. Like if, I had a family member, like say a grandpa had this really awesome M1 Garand and he'd passed away, but left it to me. I'm just fucking taking it. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just like that. Family heirlooms. Like, I don't know. I understand the reasoning behind it. It makes sense, but it also kind of sucks for that age group.
Mm-hmm. It does. But again, if you look at who's doing these school shootings or whatever mass shootings, whatever you define as a mass shooting.
I just find it weird that we have technology and that we're not using it.
Don't bring that up because the next thing you know, they're going to make a thumbprint that
I'm
you have
saying
to
like
do.
Guns have chips in them, and if they get within certain, let's say, radius of a school, an alarm goes off, locks down the schools.
Do you want your firearm to have a chip in it?
Not really, but if you want to prevent that from happening, that's another alternative. And but that chip's not gonna allow you not to shoot it. It locks down the school.
Yeah. So is this something that should be on new guns being manufactured, or is this something to retrofit?
Like newer guns and things like that. We got technology, use it.
But then that chip could also be used to keep track of said gun and then in turn kind of eventually turn into some sort of registry.
Yeah, it could. But who's to say they don't have one already?
But then they would actually be able to, there would be a way that they could probably GPS track your gun, know exactly where it's at that point.
Yeah.
So that could turn really
bad. But
it
could
also
quick. Save you too.
It could.
Because if someone stole your gun, you can go track down that person where it's at.
I just wouldn't want any way for my gun to be tracked.
Yeah.
For the wrong person to be able to track that.
Yeah.
Because again, if they decide that, we are going to limit guns to 8 rounds, well, this new gun you just bought that can take up to 30 rounds has a chip in it. Then obviously they're going to be able to be like, oh, hey, Chris has this gun at his house right now. Yeah. It's not sitting out of the bottom of a lake after a boating accident. So that's where that's going to
I don't know.
suck.
I just think there's other ways around things.
Just trying. Everything's so political.
Yeah, it is. That's what's scary about it.
It's like we have the means to update our power grid so we don't get what happened in Texas and all this other stuff, but it's all politicized, and so nothing can be done.
Yep. Because you're giving some people, oh, this is great, and then other people are like, no, fuck that, because of their political views and everything. Instead of working together like they should be, let's separate and divide.
Mm-hmm. See, I'll be interested to see what this ends up doing, if anything.
Yeah, I want to see the statistics on it more than anything.
And there was, within that act, there was a lot of money towards like education, mental health. It also redefined what an FFL dealer is. So to prevent straw purchases, they were redefining when and how you need your license depending on what you're selling, how many of your stuff you're, because people buy and sell guns all the time, but they're trying to make it to where if you're doing a lot of that, hey, you need to be an FFL.
What would you think of, let's say, an 18-year-old or whatnot? They went to a mental hospital, they have mental issues, right? And they flag their driver's license. So like, hey, do not sell this person a gun. They have mental issues, and it flags it for that, so they can't buy a gun at all.
Okay.
Would you be okay with that? And then the only way they can get it would be to go to a doctor and get it cleared.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I just, a lot of everyone keeps saying, oh, it's mental issues. A lot of us can't read. We don't know what people are going through.
Like
it's
a lot.
hard.
A lot of these people showed no prior signs.
Yeah.
Really, it's one day they snap it. So that's tough. And then, what do you define as a mental issue to where you can't own a gun?
Yeah.
Is it
Mental stability, like you have suicidal tendencies, or
what if they're like, if you have like severe anxiety, does that count too?
yeah. See, they need to define that more too.
It's like people with anxiety can. I mean, you can still own a gun, but
Yeah.
then yeah, that's just mental health is a very gray area
Yeah, it
too.
is.
Like, at what point do you then say, oh, you have these issues, you can't own a
gun.
firearm until you can
It's
prove
cleared
this
up.
is cleared? And then, oh man, how hard is that getting that cleared process going to be too? Oh, he's medicated, it's fine.
As long as he's on his medication.
But if you're fine under medication,
But wouldn't that be at that point like an illegal substance?
depending on what it is,
Kind
but
of like marijuana. If it says,
Well,
doesn't it say something on there about if your
Just-
use of marijuana, you got to check yes or no?
yeah, but that's because it's illegal
Yeah,
federal level right now.
yeah,
But like, all right, so you have these mental health issues, but under this medicine, which you've been on, you're fine. Are you then allowed to
own a firearm.
own a firearm? Or because you have these issues, yes, you're on medication, but hey, you could just stop taking this medication and this is going to be an issue again.
Yeah,
Like, what do you do in that situation?
yeah, that'd be. I don't know.
Like, hey, you're
They'd almost have to be like they flag everything you do, like your prescriptions and everything would have to be flagged with your driver's license. So like, hey, this person stopped taking their medication on this day. Definitely, no, there's an issue.
Yeah, but when do you get into invasion of privacy?
See, yeah, that's another thing.
There's a lot of mental health.
I mean, is it invasion of privacy if you're trying to buy a gun? They do a background check. Goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. But it's like where you draw that line in the sand.
It's hard.
If you have these mental issues, you can't own one. But if you have these
These
can.
are the conversations that you should be having at the upper level.
Yeah, but you don't hear.
Instead of finding, no, this is our amendment. We got to have it. Or
Like, get a group of doctors that handle mental issues and start doing, I don't know, research or a debate. Start the conversation of, hey, this is, look into what issues or records of the known, shooters
Yep.
that have happened in the past, and then kind of just go from there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, he showed these issues, if any, let's look into this.
Yep.
Like, this may be an indicator of a mental health issue. We need to start
Paying attention to.
like bring it up, like, hey.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then, say you have a juvenile record, and then turn 21,
And you're clean.
right? So how's this
Yeah.
going to play it?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Because you may have this juvie record that for whatever reason is not allowing you to buy a gun when you're 18 to 20 with this thing, but then once you turn 21,
They're gonna have
What's
to
gonna
almost. I think they're almost gonna have to do it like how we have it now. If you're, they're gonna have to do some type of like felony for an 18 to whatever age now, and then when it comes up, when you are of age 21, that felony keeps up with it and transfers over.
yeah,
It'll be interesting to see.
and
I'm
it
more
says-
worried about the statistics. I want to see what that is.
right. And with the whole address thing,
I don't get that, especially if they got your driver's license.
it says addresses of the individual will be collected so that the appropriate local and state entities may be contacted.
Like
So-
again, like we were saying, if you're 18 in the military, yeah,
But-
your permanent address is there, so they're going to contact the state and locals there, but you're not living there. Like, how's that gonna?
But say under normal circumstances, you're not going into the military, the appropriate local and state entities. Define that. I'm sure it's defined in the bill, but
is it
all right.
police?
So what are they going to do? I guess what they could do at that point is the police department, see if they have any prior records of you with any issues, I guess. And then depending on what they find, like, hey, this guy, had battery, was arrested for battery or something that may not have been on a felony level, but
or he had a good lawyer and they got him off. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. That's all.
yeah. I mean, I know you don't agree, but I'm kind of okay with that because I don't think the kids these days aren't mentally prepared.
They aren't.
I think
there are some out there that probably are.
Oh yeah, there's plenty, especially if you grow up around guns. You are properly taught.
Yeah, that's all. You've hunted your entire life. You live and breathe.
But if you're just some kid who plays GTA or Modern Warfare, and I want to go buy a freaking AR as soon as I hit 18, I might not want you to have a gun.
Yeah,
you might not be buying it for the right reason, or you also see on the flip side, like, people in Chicago, a certain demographic in areas that are like, oh, I'm 18. I don't have a record yet. I can buy a gun not only for myself, but then the straw purchase comes into effect. Once you find this guy, part of your gang or whatever, who can actually buy guns, he starts buying them all for all his other buddies that can't own one. So
gangs are kind of stupid. You know that? Like, if they're doing that, like, why wouldn't you keep that person clean for you?
Like, maybe that. I don't know. Say that's not a thing.
Yeah, I know. I was sitting there thinking about that a second ago. I was like, if they're doing that, why don't they just help that guy to keep him clean?
Not a bad idea.
They keep him so he can keep getting you what you need. Supply and demand.
Right. Hopefully, people in the gang are listening to this. But that'd be one way around it, is to get guns. Is recruit a guy who doesn't have a background and
keep that guy recruited and clean. And whenever you need something, you throw him extra cash his way. Hey, that's what I need.
We do not condone this activity.
No, we do not. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm thinking this, I know they're thinking this.
But yeah, that's pretty much what because I saw that email and I'm like, what the hell? And I looked at that and I'm like, oh, I don't remember this at all. But
I don't mind cooldown times and all that, but it just makes you wonder what they're going to do. They're starting to do this now to 18 to 20. What do they want down? You got to think in the future what they want to do down the pipeline for other age groups.
You know what sucks about that cooldown time though is if you have because when you have your mindset on owning something that you've been waiting for forever, and then you find it and you're like, oh yeah, it's ready. I'm gonna go fill out the paperwork, take it home. Oh wait, there's a cooldown period. I gotta wait 10 days.
Here's the thing I think about, like, cool, I've got a really good deal on it. You're gonna have that 10 days or whatnot. You're gonna find it cheaper within that time period and be like, motherfucker.
So yeah, the whole cooldown period, I don't agree with that. Like, if you pass a background check, fucking take the gun.
Yep.
What you do with it after that is on you and your responsibility.
Yeah.
But as long as you pass, I think you'd be able to take it home the day of.
Yep.
Because, again, most gun owners are law-abiding citizens.
Yep. And if they want to cause harm, they're going to find ways. And this is just, they're going to find other ways.
Yeah.
Now.
And let's be honest, the whole cooldown period, by the time you actually are mad at something and then you go decide to buy a gun and go travel and get it and then fill out the paperwork and do all this stuff, by then you've already probably cooled down. And I mean, how many people stay like in the heat of the moment angry that long?
I don't know, unless they hold grudges.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Right. But most people are like, all right, yes, I could go do this in this person's life. But then more than likely, with all the technology now, I'm going to get caught and then go spend the rest of my life in jail.
Yep.
Not a good.
Yeah.
You don't hear, all you hear is about these mass school shootings or whatever, just mass shootings in general. You don't hear much of
the person that saved other people because they were concealed carrying.
That, or like, with the whole cool down period, you don't hear a lot of stories of people getting into an argument, then that person going and buying a gun and then going back to the.
And let's be honest, if like you're at a house, what other weapons are there?
Right.
You can go to the kitchen and pick your poison.
Road rage. I mean, you're not going to.
Manslaughter. I mean, there's people want to cause harm. They're going to cause harm. They're going to find ways. Simple as that.
Cool down period. Nah, I don't think it's necessary.
No.
If you pass, you pass. And again, by the time you decide, hey, I want this gun, do the paperwork, do the background check, and then get everything together. And you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go home and have supper.
Yeah.
Instead of being mad about whatever.
Let me just go make up and drink a glass of whiskey.
Right. But yeah. Well, anything else?
I think that's about it.
The only other thing I saw was Colin and Orr had a video where there were some really strict gun control items being voted on in Oregon. I think it was like 144 or 114 or something was the number. But like it was like super strict. But again, it's Oregon. It's crazy how
each state's different.
Both coasts, for the most part, are stupid strict on guns.
But you got the Midwest where we're like,
Where our country was founded has the some of the most strictest gun control. It's like, come on.
Because they forget about the history because they're deleting it.
Right?
Simple as that.
Yep. That's why I like the Midwest. As much as it sucks not having an ocean nearby,
I'm fine with lakes.
You don't have to deal with all stupid politics in what used to be the 13 colonies.
You'd probably get in trouble for that now. That's the original 13 colonies.
Oh yeah. No, like
You're
the Betsy
racist.
Ross the Betsy Ross flag is now looked upon as either
Racist.
like a racist symbol. Yeah.
It's so
It's like, dude, this was the first flag of our country.
Yeah.
And it's
get over your fucking selves. Were you involved back then? No. Shut the fuck up. Move on. That's how I feel. Sorry.
well, cool. Well, that's all I had. Obviously, after this, I'd say go out and vote, but by the time this comes out, people would have voted by now. So I'm voting tomorrow.
So am I.
So hopefully, fingers crossed, there's a red wave, but we'll see.
It'll be interesting.
Yep. So by the time this comes out on Friday, we should know
what happened.
the next 2+ years looks like, and
hopefully it'll get better.
Yep. We can only hope.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's all I got. So we are coming up on number 50. So we got something cool planned for number 50 that we will do.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't wait.
So yeah. Well, say all those things and then take us out, Chris.
If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe, tickle our bell, leave us a comment so we can have something maybe else to talk about.
Right? What do you feel about this?
Yeah, what do you feel about this topic?
Thing? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts.
And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any other listening platform, hit that follow. So, is that it?
That's it.
All right. Well, have a good one.